How's it going, everybody? Wherever you listen to this podcast right here, this is episode 123 of the TempahZone podcast with your host, me, Amir Max, and that's all facts. And ladies and gentlemen, my special guest in the Zoom building with us today, whatever time you were listening. This dude right here is a very motivational dude. Just from the rip, everything he posts is definitely to encourage you to keep going, keep pushing, keep striving. And on top of that, the music's fire. So that's just great. Ladies and gentlemen, I got Frankie Always with us today. Mr. Always, how's it going, man?
Yo, Amir, let's do it, baby. I'm excited to be here. Thank you for that wonderful intro. It means a lot. And yeah, man, I'm all about bringing positivity to the world, lifting the world up, because I know what it's like to be down and I know what it's like to feel high and, not with drugs, just in general. And it's just bringing people up, man, just bringing people up. So, yeah, dude, thank you for that intro. I'm excited for this conversation. We're about to bring it to the people, man.
Exactly. Exactly, man. And I love that point where you're saying, not on drugs. It's just life. You know what I'm saying? And more people need to, realize, what it takes to be high off life, and what that takes is learning yourself. I think a lot of times people don't understand the understanding of self and what that can bring you.
Agreed, man. I mean, I spent years really disconnected from myself. And I was, smoking weed and drinking, and, it never was too bad, but it was like, smoking weed almost every day for a while. And I was really disconnected from myself, trying to get that external high. But at the end of the day, like what you're really seeking is connection. And I actually mentioned that in my most recent song, not to get into it too fast, but say it's not, my song, Why Wait, I have a bar. I say, it's not addiction, it's a disconnection. And, people in my family struggle with addiction. My father did, he passed away now, but, so it just, you're looking for that. When you can't get high off life anymore, you start looking for it externally. And I'm all about, finding how to come back to that high on life feeling. And, how do you come back to that? Well, that's a loaded question, but, it comes back by being authentic to yourself and, letting go of a lot of the negativity, we've kind of accrued over our lifespan,
Yeah, nah, man. And I mean, I'm sorry to hear for your loss, man. You know what I'm saying? But we can definitely talk about this song. And I mean, it's very courageous of you to make a song of this magnitude. And I can definitely understand what it takes to make a song that's very deep and very, from the heart. Is this something for you that was difficult to do? Is this something that you really wanted to do? Just talk about the process of just making a song like Why Wait?
I honestly really wanted to mention it because I think as an artist, I want people to connect with me because I'm putting so much into it. And that's when you're going to really create a fan base who really cares about you is when you really care about them. And I hadn't really... I have a song, God Planned It, where I say, I write raps for my dad who was fighting to get clean, or the younger me at 16 when I lacked self-esteem. So I mentioned it there. And yeah, I just want to, it's been a huge part of my life, going through that grief, watching him struggle with addiction and pass away. And it's really shaped who I am today. And, I've come through it, and I've done a lot of work to kind of heal that and learn from his experience. And what I want to do is help people get out of the place that he was in or get out of the place where I was in, And so, yeah, when that line, when I was writing that song, I love that line. And I was really excited to say it because it got to the core of what I'm all about, So, yeah, man. And yeah, when you get vulnerable, you get nervous. You definitely get, you're like, okay, like this one, yeah. But it is an act of courage at the end of the day. And I think if a song doesn't lack any sort of vulnerability or courage, and you're trying to make something that's really gonna make people, have an emotional experience, it might not do that. Obviously, like you can make a fun lit song.
For sure. Yeah.
We all have those. Those are fun too. But when it comes to kind of having like that emotional depth, like you need to tap into something real and raw, because everyone can relate to what you're going through. And that's what real art really is when you can communicate the uncommunicatable, which is emotion. Like, people like us, we write music, we make music. We take for granted the fact that we can articulate ourselves through art. We can, if we're feeling some type of way, we can get it on a pen. If I feel this type of way, I can really pinpoint how I'm feeling and what I'm trying to say, where a lot of people don't have that gift. So it's kind of our, duty, responsibility to get these emotions out and get these things out. So people who are going through that but don't have a way to communicate it can listen to it and be like, yeah, that's what I'm going through. Think about all those heartbreak songs you threw on when your 8th grade girlfriend went and kissed the other dude. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. That's bad funny.
Yeah. But yeah, man. So it was. I was excited, definitely, a little bit. But as the more songs I've released, the more I'm getting really comfortable with vulnerability, especially on a track. So I was more excited. I was excited for it. Yeah. Letting people know.
Yeah. I mean, I think one thing I realized is a lot of times when you make songs of that level of depth and vulnerability, it's something that is very therapeutic, and you'll feel better after you make a song like that. And especially when people hear the song and go, hey man, like that song you made really helped me. I mean, that's one of the best compliments you can get as an artist. People like, yo man, your song really helped me a lot. Like, hell yeah. Like that always feels great.
What I do it for, man. That's what I do it for. Like, that for me is one of the most motivating things about this, and one of my deepest purposes is like, I'm sitting here and I make a song, and someone you never met, says, hey, I found your song through TikTok and it's been really helping me. I've been going through a tough time and I have it on repeat. It's like, whoa.
Yeah.
And
you're like, I didn't know I could do that.
Yeah.
You'd be like, holy shit.
And I always think about, all the artists who got me through those tough times that I've spoken about, and how this is kind of in my mind, I'm passing the torch forward. I'm saying, I'm doing for the next man, because my experience is different than, this person's experience, so I might be able to tap into an experience that someone can really relate to that hasn't been spoken yet, because it's my authentic experience. So yeah, man, it's definitely the most kind of like humbling things, and it drives you so much more to continue to do what I do. And yeah, dude, we don't know the impact we have on other people. We really don't. Like, and think about
even if
all
they don't tell you, even if they don't say anything.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, think about all the people. Like, I always think about all these people I've actually hit who they've never even told me,
and they never will.
Right. People don't get their flowers until they can still smell them, right? It's like every funeral you've ever been to, everyone comes up and says, he did this, and I always thought about him, and it's like, why didn't you say that to him when he was alive, you idiot? But, that's just who we are. I think a lot of people have difficulty being vulnerable, and that's what the role of an artist is in a society, or one of the roles I would say is to be vulnerable, express their feelings so other people can, express their own. Yeah. So, that's dope. That's
real
dope.
stuff, man. Yeah, it really is a good feeling, man. And, it's definitely one of the driving factors for myself for why I make music. And every time someone tells me like, oh, even when it's like, oh, dope song, to like, this song helped me out, it's all just motivational factors to be like, yo, like, I'm actually making an impact. This is more than just making a lit song. Like, I'm actually making people 100%. Feel better through my words.
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy. Yeah.
Yo, and there's people who've made there's people who made songs that have changed lives, and it didn't sell 1 million records. No. I think a lot of times in the music community, people get caught up in the numbers. The numbers, like, I need more streams, more followers, and obviously I can fall in that trap at times too, because now I'm so hip hop, man. I'm like, I'm lit. I think my music is top tier. I don't want to go out there and say, I want them to know who I am.
Yeah.
I say, yo, Frankie Always is here, bro. But I have to continue to remind myself that it's like, yo, impact is more important. See, my fan base is small, right? It's like 1,200, around 1,200 followers or whatever.
Yeah.
The account, but they connect so deep with it.
Mm-hmm.
It's people who really genuinely, they send me messages, I respond. They're strangers in terms of I've never met them, but we know each other and they connect with the music. And I think in the long run, that's what you really got to focus on if you want to actually stay in this game. Because a lot of people can hit it quick. You know what I mean? One TikTok can take you, up to the sky. But, think about all the rappers in 2016 that were popping, and where are they now, right?
Yeah.
They got a bunch of face tats and they're pumping gas.
Yeah, right. It's
not to diss anybody.
Hey man, hey, it's a reality that's very true when you're an artist, and it's a very hard career to sustain. And I think a lot of times people forget that when they're in the moment, like, oh, this shit might not last forever, and they do decisions that are not the most beneficial to them long term. And I think you're one that clearly is trying to see in a way, like, how can I make the best of this for as long as possible? And I definitely see that through the content you post, man, on Instagram and obviously TikTok as well. I mean, and I'm very impressed with your consistency, man. How do you do it, man? How do you stay so consistent with posting all the content? Because you're not just posting random stuff, like you're, making lyric videos and putting motivational stuff with it. Like, what's the driving force behind that?
Well, the driving force is I want it so bad.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There you go.
So bad, bro. I want it so bad. And, a big word in my life, especially this year, has been commitment. Like, yo, all right, Frankie, like, you really want this? You really want this? Okay, what do I have to do to go get it?
Yeah.
I was so resistant to getting to TikTok, man. I was like, oh, man, I don't know that.
You and a lot of other artists were resistant to it. And it's like, yo, you better hop on.
But I know, and I had this kind of like thing click in my mind. And it was just like this idea that truly successful people are willing to do what it takes because they're committed. You got to be willing to do what it takes. If Kobe, I remember I heard this story about Kobe and his rookie season. He was having a lot in the fourth quarter. He had a very bad shooting percentage. Okay. And the reason why is because they were all coming short. Why? That was fatigue. And he didn't have that level of fatigue because he just came out of high school, and he wasn't playing at that level of intensity. And it was like, all right, like by the end of the season, he was really we really couldn't hang with them. So we spent the off season, like, he trained with like some Navy SEAL and he went ham or something, right? I'm probably messing up the whole story, but you get the gist. The idea was he found a place where he needed improvement. And instead of just saying, oh man, like, instead of not looking at it, he looked at it face on and said, damn, I really suck in the fourth quarter. All right. He face on, he accepted it. What can I do to fix that? You know what I mean? Where can I change this, And so I think that I've had this kind of mindset shift where it's like looking at myself as an artist saying, this is what I want more than anything else. It's what I feel like I'm here to do. It gives me so much purpose. It's my passion. I love hip hop. What if I want to get from where I am now to where I'm going? What do I have to do?
Yeah.
And it comes down to, all right, you got to get a TikTok. I don't want to get TikTok. Okay, then don't worry about it, Frankie. You just won't get it. Oh,
yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna go. All right, I'll get the TikTok. All right. And it's like, okay, first I'm posting here and there, and then again, okay, then you do it every few days, and then you start. So it's not like I went from posting 0 to 100. No. It was slow. And man, I'll tell you, I have obviously my music talks about a lot of these topics, but when it comes to insecurities, bro, the way I started, I always wanted to rap, but the way I started rapping was I would record, I'd make a beat on FL Studio, I'd record it me rapping it onto my iPhone with just the music coming on my computer. And then I would post a video on Instagram and I would block out my face. Like I would like crop it right here or something because I was just too afraid to be in the video. That's where it started.
Yeah,
and now if you saw that, that's what I'm saying. And if you saw that now, you would just be like, yo, that's the same dude. Because I stand so confidently. But that confidence, it's not like you just have it or don't. I think that confidence is built by deliberately doing things that scare you. And then every time you do something that scares you, you realize, oh, I'm a little stronger than I thought. Like when I first posted my face in the video, I was like, oh, I can do that. First time I hop on stage, oh man, I rock that, man. I can do that. And you go again and again and again. And you just continually build this confidence. So at the end of the day, posting on social media is a necessity for an artist in 2022. We can kick and scream about it, lie about it, complain about it. But guess what? The artists who are actually going to make it, those are the ones who are just going, okay, bet. Let me go and do that. And I'm not going to sit here and say I'm the best because I'm not. I'm literally not. There's people with such good content out there. They post so consistently high quality and they're blowing up. Man, I haven't blown up yet, but I'm working on it. I'm always working on it, getting just a little bit better. And when it comes to, the quality and understanding kind of the algorithm in terms of like getting things that hook people in, blah, 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 I know that's going to get better with time. But when it comes to the message, I got that down pat because the message is what I live. In terms of the stuff I talk about, it's just who I am and what I'm all about and what I want to share. So what I want it so bad, and then you say, all right, what do you want? Well, I want to help people through hip hop. That's what I want to do. I help people. I love music. It's what I want to do. So that's what gets me so going. Simple as that, man. I want to help people, and I want to live out my passions because these are my passions for a reason. There's a reason I don't like biology. You know what I mean? If I like biology, I was meant to be a biologist. I'd be going, checking out the sea urchins.
Yeah,
but
right.
I'm here right now, and I'm on the TempahZone.
Yes,
and,
sir.
So I got, what I'm saying? I got the mic right here. I'm not playing around. So
yes, sir. What type of mic is that, man?
Yeah. Nah. It doesn't have a mic in there. It's just the Rhodes pop filter.
Oh, okay. I saw the Rode.
Yeah. I don't even got the mic in there right now, but I think it's like the Rhodes. It's like the classic, like 201.
Okay. Yeah.
But I don't record here. Actually, I don't record here.
Okay.
I record. I record in the studio. Yeah.
No, I feel you, man. Yeah. I actually record. I've been recording at home since the pandemic, actually. But I do. I have recorded a couple of songs at a studio, like 3 of my songs since 2020. But since the pandemic, I've been recording at home. It's just like I couldn't go out, bought a ton of new shit, and it just snowballed into this. So I mean, it's just
that just connects to what we're saying, right? Like quit or commit. Like the pandemic, the studio shut down. All right. Are you going to just say, whatever, I'm just not going to do it? Well, nah, you want it, bro. So you said yes to the challenge. I that's what it is. It's saying yes to the challenge.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
If you keep looking around, if you have the courage to self-reflect, and I say that in Why I Wait, I say the brave grow through self-reflection. It's like, if you have the courage to self-reflect and say, all right, what areas of my life am I slacking? Am I unfocused? Am I weak? Am I I'm too afraid to even look at, right?
Yeah.
When you have the courage to do that, then that gives you the freedom to say, all right, I've accepted it. I've accepted that, you know what? I'm really bad at dancing or something. I don't know.
Yeah, right.
It's like, all right, let's go hit dance lessons. For me, I think about this stuff. I think about all the ingredients that create, an artist with longevity. And can they dance? Can they sing? Can they act? Do they have a good character? Are they honest? Are they integrous? All these things matter. And it's about continually just day by day getting a little bit better in all these areas. And then you just continually do that, man. And over time, we'll see how it plays out. But
Yeah, nah, it's real stuff, man. And I know you had mentioned David Goggins in your bar, one of your bars, and like, no, he's somebody that like I try to tell everybody about, not because like, I just think the dude's like super motivational, but I'm like, man, like he helped me, like listen to this guy, like what you're bad at, the things you face that shit, because if you don't, like you're just only holding yourself back. Like I just feel like so many people, and it comes with maturity. I'm 26, and it took time for me to get to this age. This is the age where I'm like, I feel like I really grew the fuck up. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
But like it took time, and I feel like a little bit of maturity, but also just learning from other people's mistakes to know, like, hey, I got to look at these things I'm not good at and be better at it. And David Goggins talks about that. He's like, some of y'all just are weak. You're scared to take on what stepping outside your comfort zone. And, when you do that and achieve it, like you were just saying, man, like the results are just unbelievable. You come back, you come out strong. Yeah, you come out so much
out strong. Bro. That's what, as simple as that. And you know what? I read David Goggins' book. And,
man, I gotta check out that book. I know like 4 people who read it. It's crazy,
bro. So I think I just finished it around the time I wrote that song, Lace Up, which was
it was on Lace Up.
Yep. Yeah, bro. I was so into him at that time, and I love what he's all about. For me, he's the epitome of courage. Because for anyone out there listening that doesn't know, David Goggins, he's like a Navy SEAL, very distinguished man. But he wasn't always, there was a point in time where he could barely read, hundreds of pounds overweight.
Yeah.
He grew up in a very traumatic situation. His dad, beat him, blah, blah, blah. And it came to a point in his life where he decided to make a change. And he was literally 100-something pounds overweight and was like, I'm going to be a Navy SEAL. And every recruiter laughed at him, but besides this one guy. And he said, all right, you got to lose 100 pounds in 3 months. And this story is incredible. This man who turned his life around. And he had to just face all these, these fears, these limitations, these negative beliefs about himself. And at the end of the day, that's what holds us back is, judgment, self-judgment of ourselves.
Yeah, but what if it's like, man, who cares? Just do that
forget
shit.
About it. Man.
Do that shit.
Yeah. No, but what if it works out, man? What if it works out better than you thought?
Exactly.
So it's really just, it just comes down to our perceptions, which, anyone who studied psychology knows they're very malleable. What we aim at, there's a thing. It's like what we aim at determines what we see. Meaning, whatever intention we have, we're gonna find it in a situation. Like if I am, if I'm mad right now, like, and I just want, like, that's what I'm gonna see. I'm just gonna see a bunch of mistakes out in the world, and whatever it is. But if we look at ourselves, right, if our aim is to better ourselves, we're going to start looking at mistakes as a chance to improve, But yeah, David Goggins, to me, he's the epitome of courage and masculinity.
Very badass. Very badass.
Very badass.
It's just like, straight up.
He's a badass. And, I always say, man, you got to be your own mother and your own father. Meaning you gotta, and I'm talking like, archetypally, traditionally, people might read into this too deeply, but it's just more like in terms of like metaphors.
Yeah, for sure.
The mother, right? The mother in classic, literary terms, she represents unconditional love. Like, right? Your mom loves you no matter what. Yeah. You fall down, your mom still loves you. You know what I mean? Where your dad, the father figure, would always represent the person who is trying to make you strive to become better. Mm-hmm. So it's like he would, it's like you fall off the bike, your mom says it's okay, I love you. Then your dad says, yeah, but go get up.
Yeah, why'd you fall off the bike?
Yeah. So David Goggins is literally that, like, he's that masculine voice saying in a word, he's telling you, yo, it's not okay that you're 100 pounds overweight. You're not meant to live depressed, fat, and alone.
Yeah.
In wallowing in guilt and self and shame. Go out there and change your life. You can overcome. You can do this. Get up and go. And it's like, yo, how many people need that? I needed it. You needed it. Mm-hmm. So many people need it.
A lot of people need it. Yeah.
Yeah, man. So facts, bro. He's done a lot of good, but it depends on it depends on kind of what you need though.
Yeah, for
Because
sure.
someone like me, I was I needed that push. Like I mentioned, I didn't have a father figure in my life. I did. I lost when he was 17, but in my adulthood, nobody there really pushing me. So, I needed that. But some other people, right? They're too hard on themselves. They're like, they beat themselves up every time they make a mistake, and they're always pushing, worrying. They don't rest. They work 80 hours a week. Those are the
Yes.
people who need someone who's more, feminine, who's like, yo, your your bank account doesn't represent your worth. Someone
Yeah.
who would say more stuff along those lines. So it all depends where you are, but if you need to kind of focus in self-discipline, accountability, responsibility, David Goggins, man, he's
Yeah.
the guy.
Yeah, he's definitely another one. Another guy I saw recently is I think he's Andrew Huberman. He's a doctor.
Mm.
Yeah, he's another one where I'm like, man, this dude is spitting. He has a lot of good things that I've just never been privy to when he just preaches about getting sunlight and getting exercise and all these little things, man. It's funny because like people, I feel like, overcomplicate what they need to do to make themselves just feel better, function better. Like, one, you got to stay active and keep, like, in some form or fashion. Like, there's nothing wrong with being busy, just don't be too busy. But it's another thing to make sure you don't like deprive yourself of like social life and sunlight and being active. Like, it's just, but and in this day and age, in this world we live in, man, it's like, there's certain things like you say, like you get canceled for, like people make it a big deal to say like, oh, like get exercise. It's like, don't tell me what to do. It's like, I'm trying to make you feel better.
Yeah, yeah. It's
dicey.
and if
It's
someone's
weird.
saying that, and it's honestly, if someone's saying that, they don't have a good grip on reality.
Yeah,
So it
well, it's
doesn't
that
matter.
too. Yeah.
And it's not. It's a fact, because you're just they're denying the truth about biology. At the end of the day, if you do not work out, you are going to experience, less serotonin, less dopamine, all these neurochemicals that relate to our levels of happiness are going to decrease. Why? Because we spent, 100,000 years, whatever it was. We didn't wake up and sit down all day. No, we had to survive. We went up and
gotta hunt.
we went out, we picked berries, we hunted, we danced, we made fires, we built this, we did that. We were born to be outside and exercise. You know what I mean? It was just a way of life. So when you deprive yourself of those basic needs that you just mentioned, you're gonna real struggle. And then you add on top of that, over processed foods, that have like toxins in them, high amount of sugar, like sugar. Think about
It's so
this.
hard to avoid that type of food, though, man.
Oh, I know.
I
mean, I'm not perfect.
Yeah,
it is, but it's more like just bringing awareness to it. And this is something I really stand for as an artist. Like, it's like, I'm a hip hop artist that is all about holistic health. Like, I want to teach people mental and physical health, and it's new, it's different, but that's just what I'm actually about. And yeah, man, like, just getting people feeling better, and it takes a whole, there's some simple steps we can take just on the physical level that can change it. And then once you kind of add in that mental component of like mindset, then it's like soon enough you're gonna start really seeing changes, bro.
Yeah, that's a whole other story. I mean, like the physical health, I think people know, but they're just, I'm sorry, too lazy to like take action. But when it comes to like mental health and seeing therapists and like doing the like sleeping better to like help your brain and avoiding certain things that just don't help your brain, and like I think people just don't realize like that is as important, if not more important, than your physical health. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
like, yeah, it's intertwined.
The thing is, yeah, that's what I was saying. Like, in my mind, there's no difference. If
it's all your
if
body.
I go and eat that's what I'm saying. If I go and eat a box of donuts and that's all I eat for the day, like some crazy, or just go eat a bunch of McDonald's, that is going to destroy your mental health, because what you're putting into your body fuels you, and it has an impact on your neurochemistry.
Yeah.
It's not even a joke, it's 80 I don't even want to throw stats out, but it's just so that's what I mean. So, and I always try to tell people that because I think once you start connecting that how happy you are and how like you literally experience life is very intertwined with your diet, exercise, and sleep. It's like, oh, okay, now I'm gonna start taking it serious. Because when you just tell them, oh, you gotta eat good foods because if you don't, you're gonna be sick one day. It's like, this tastes too good. That's so abstract. But if I tell you, like, yo, if you replace that burger, with even this burger, you know what I mean? You just change.
Yeah, literally. Yeah, just change it. Yeah.
Literally just make a little change. If you instead of eating McDonald's, you eat this maybe organic burger from Whole Foods, man, you'll feel a lot better like right now. Like you don't have to, and if
it doesn't have to be so extreme. Like you don't have to go to like a keto diet or like take out carbs. Like people go to extremes and it's like, first of all, piece it out, but like don't get too crazy with it. Like understand.
Yeah, whatever works for you. Whatever works for you. Balance is really, it is key. Balance is key. And yeah, you just got to feel into it. It's always a process. It's trial and error, but and it starts being fun once you start getting into it. And it's like, oh man, like I've been eating a smoothie every morning instead of, the donut, and like, bro, I feel so energized. It's like, yeah, because you're eating fruit.
Yeah, it's like, right. Very simple changes, man. And, I really, like that, you got the psychology degree. So that definitely is something that I feel like it definitely has an impact on your music and the way you just think about the world in general. It's definitely had effect on what you create in your music, and it's very prominent to hear that. Like your song Weirdo, man, I really love that you call it Weirdo and you say I'm a weirdo, and that's great because, a lot of times I've seen, and I'm just going to admit it, rappers who are more like the tough rappers, call rappers who aren't that weirdos or like we don't mess with that, someone like a Tyler the Creator or like a, like just someone who's not considered tough. And you're saying I'm a weirdo, and that's great. I like that message, man. And just, I guess, break down what made you decide to make that song. I mean, I know it's, you've been, spitting gems, but what made you decide to make that type of song?
Man, I don't even know. Like, to be honest, it was, dude, it just kind of, I don't even know. It came out of me. The thing about Weirdo was cool was like, I used to really beat myself up saying that, like, yo, I'm a weirdo, like, yo, I'm so weird. And, and it was just like, I've gone through a real transformation in the last few years through health, mindset, and all these things. And it was like flipping that, you know how we flip in hip hop, we flip samples and we make into a beat. It's like, yo, flipping a thought. It's like, yo, this is so negative, and I'm going to change to a positive. And, yeah, man, I'm always working on myself. And in that period of time when I wrote that, I was going through a lot of self-acceptance, Yeah,
self-acceptance is some real shit, man. Yeah.
It is.
I feel that.
It is, dude. It is. It's like, yo, accepting you're a weirdo, bro. It's like, I think different. I'm really high energy. I'm very turned up. I'm super, spiritual and philosophical. And, most people don't care about that. Most people, they're just like, oh, they're just talking about events, the weather. And I'm over here like contemplating reality.
Yeah, but like, don't you see the weather?
Yeah, bro. It's like, what I mean? I'm very philosophical and reflective and sensitive and creative and goofy. So I think everyone can relate to that. Like, we're all weirdos. We're all very, in the same way that every snowflake is different. Every human's different. We're all very idiosyncratic and different. And yeah, man, I was nervous. That song, man, I was so nervous about releasing because it was done, and I was just like sitting back. I'm like, yo, is this even good, or is this too weird? Is this just too weird? And but I knew that one was super vulnerable. And it kind of confirmed my theory that vulnerability is kind of like a recipe for great art, because
Yeah.
that was the one I was most nervous about. And it's the one, with, in terms of impact, if I had to guess, I would say that song. It's just so many people have told me that that song has helped them, really. So,
Yeah.
I first heard the beat and I was riffing, I was feeling good. And yeah, man,
As
it just
simple as
came out
that.
of that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
dude. It's you made a lot of great points of just making that song, but I don't know. It's just funny to me because like, when you meet people for the first time, a lot of times they put that guard up and make sure like, they seem like a cool guy or whatever that means to wherever you're from. Like, oh, like keep up that thing. But then once you get to know somebody, you get to realize, oh, like they have this interest, or like they don't like this and I like that, and all these things. And your song points to kind of that thing. It's like we all have things we're interested in that one could be like, what the hell? Or we all talk maybe in a certain way. Somebody else could be like, what the hell? Like, so there's always something else about us. Well, we're all such unique individuals in this world. And so like when you think about it in the terms of like being normal, like who's really normal? Like, especially once you get that, someone gets to open up to you, like eventually you realize, oh, like they have this about them and that about them. I don't know no one like that. It's just one of those things, man. And I think a lot of times it just comes down to people who, keep that guard up, or people who just, need to be around people who they really like in order to be who they really are. Because we all have things we really like that, only a few people can understand. It's just how it goes. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think the process of self-acceptance, to go off those really good points you just made, the self-acceptance is to let that guard down.
Yeah.
We just, that's what it is. It's like we all, build up these kind of these walls, and to varying degrees. Some people it's like so much, and other people just maybe a little, but they can't give you that extra. And the process of self-acceptance is just letting it down. And I think for me, right, it was when I would sing and dance as a little kid. I just remember being called gay. Older brothers, all their friends around, they liked me obviously, but it was like, oh, stop being gay. So it was like, I wanted their acceptance. I started getting scared. So I started building a little, then that wall starts building, right? And it just little things continually. And then when that happens, right, to circle back to that original point I made about addiction being a disconnection, when that wall is so thick that you're so disconnected from who you actually are, and you're just putting up this front, that's when you're going to be at the bar every weekend, smoking, drinking. There's nothing wrong with those things maybe in themselves, but when you're doing it seeking happiness, it's like, man, you're going to lose in that game, because, the bottle's going to be empty and you're still going to feel that way. Maybe temporarily you'll get it, but there's a reason why the word temptation and temporary are very closely linked, right? Because you fall for it. You're like, nah, this time, no, man, it'll never give you what you're really looking for, because what you're really looking for, you already are.
Yeah.
You just have to accept yourself.
Accept that shit. Yeah,
and
it's like you're the person who you are. Yeah.
Yeah, man. And that comes with it can be, like we said, it can be difficult. Like, and what it really is it's feeling your real emotions, not the front, like what you're actually feeling. And it takes takes a lot of courage, in my opinion, to self-accept. And it's always a process. It's always a process.
And it's definitely different amongst men and women. You know what I mean? Like, obviously, in terms of, with men and, especially amongst the Black community, man, like, I've always felt like with certain things that, I dyed my hair one time, and I definitely felt like, oh man, like I hope people don't think certain things. And then I had to remember, like, nah, like I like how this looks. I like how I feel. Like, forget all these other things about what the world should tell me I should be. And even like the music I like I'm like, man, like, I like what I like. I don't care, like, I look like this and where I'm from. Like, I like this type of music. I like a wider range of it, and no one's gonna make me feel bad about it. But that comes, like I said,
Yeah,
man, maturity, bro. Like sometimes you just need to grow up to get to these points. Like, it's very impressive if someone's 18, 19 and feels that way. Like, that's like an anomaly in my opinion. You know what I mean?
yeah. I mean, or it's the consequence of great parenting.
Oh yeah, just great circumstances.
Yeah, like, and thank God for that, man. They're lucky. We need more parents like that telling kids, hey, what someone says about you, it doesn't say anything about you. It says only things about them.
Exactly.
If someone doesn't know you and they come up and they're just like, yo, you work, and they're saying all this stuff, it's like, it's not personal. Like, that person is so judgmental of themselves.
Yeah.
And then when you do something out of bounds of what they can do, they're just going to project that right onto you.
Straight
and then
up,
you just got to learn to let it roll off you, because, you start becoming kind of like invulnerable in a way, because you just know it has nothing to do with you.
Yeah. Once you realize that, once you realize it's that person's problem, not yours, like, life gets a lot easier when you realize those type of aspects.
Yeah.
You just got to keep that in mind. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, dude, weight off the shoulders, man. That's actually in the song. I have a part. I go, everybody's crazy in this world. Always gonna judge you. Trust me, they ain't got the answers, bro.
Yeah.
Like, they ain't got the always gonna judge you. Trust me, they ain't got the answers.
Real shit.
We don't, man. We don't have the answers. So I mean, and people just can always do that stuff. So don't worry about it, man. Don't worry about it.
Just gotta brush that shit off, man. I totally feel you on that, man. Well, this conversation has been really dope, man. And I think that with us both graduating with psychology degrees, I feel like we have that thing in common where we could probably keep this conversation going a little bit further. There's things I wanted to bring up, but I'm like, nah, I don't want to really take it there right now.
It both turns out.
I was like, let me turn the conversation on it, man. You know what I'm saying? But this platform's all about the artists being on to talk about, their music and who they are as a people. So, like, this conversation's been great nonetheless, man. But I definitely want to ask you just something more music related right now, just in terms of, what's next for you in terms of what you drop. I feel like you've been going singles based. We're going to get more stuff like that, more music videos. What's some things you can share with the people that's coming soon?
January 1st, my first official project is dropping.
Oh,
brand new life.
All righty.
Brand new life. That's the name of the project. Was in the studio earlier on the final leg of it. It's going to be there's some interludes on there, so I'm not sure, but it's probably around like 14 tracks.
Okay.
Yeah, man, I'm very excited. It's super vulnerable. It's a story. It has narration on it. It's a journey. It's a journey, into my heart, where I've been and where I'm going. And I'm excited, man. So yeah, January 1st, that's dropping. And then I'm gonna do a full. You got to be there for this. I'm gonna do a full live band show of the whole album in live January. Band. Yeah, live band. We're gonna have the whole venue, and it's gonna be a special night. It's gonna be in Dorchester. So yeah, that's gonna be good. So very, very excited for what's to come, man.
Yeah, man. Keep me posted on that, and I will be there, bro. I got you, man. That's gonna be dope. Yeah, man. Well, I'm gonna be. Yeah, I'm looking forward to the project, man. That's really dope to hear, yo. And I'm really happy you're promoting it on this platform, man. Much appreciated, for sure. I definitely want to, I got to ask you this question. I ask this with every guest I have on. What's some advice that you give to an artist who's just starting out making music? What's some piece of advice you would throw at them? You said a lot of good things this episode, but what would you tailor it down to?
And that's a loaded question. I would say this, develop a growth mindset. And that kind of relates to what I was saying. When I was 17, I was making beats, but I really wanted to rap. Always wanted to rap. Always was writing raps, freestyling on the bus, on the home game, after the game for the basketball team. Always wanted to rap, but I was too afraid. And I basically, just pressed the pause button on it because the passion wasn't going anywhere, man. It only increased. And I would say the reason at the root of that was I had what, they call it in psychology, a fixed mindset, right? So you have a growth mindset or a fixed mindset. And a fixed mindset is this belief that my worth is contingent upon my performance. So if I go out there and I make a song and people don't like it, then I take it like, oh, I'm not good enough. I'm not a good rapper. I can't be one, and it hurts you. And I had that, and it was a poisonous thing because I was too afraid to try things because I had this belief that I had to be perfect right away. Yeah. I had to go out there. So what I would say is you have to develop the exact opposite, which is a growth mindset, which is this belief of like, it doesn't matter where I start, I can always get better. Like rapping, songwriting, singing, making content, whatever it is, they're all skills that can be developed through repetition. Bring it back to Kobe, right? It's like Kobe didn't get bad. Kobe wasn't just born this guy. He did have a genetic predisposition in the same way that you might have a predisposition. Like if you're a painter, you might be really good at drawing and painting. Good. You have a gift. Now it's time to hone that deliberately. And that's the thing we must do with our gifts, right? Like I have a gift of rapping and articulating myself and making people laugh and entertain them. So it's up to me to deliberately practice that. And when you just have that growth mindset, you're liberated because you're allowed to fail and realize that. And a part of that mindset is that mistakes don't say anything about you. They're opportunities to learn. So go out there, have the courage to do it, have the courage to suck, make mistakes, fall forward, but just keep going forward. And then soon enough, if you're a young artist, you'll be like, oh, damn, like I'm improving a lot. And then you keep going and then it's like, whoa, I'm really doing it now. And you just keep having that mindset and, time goes by fast, man. And soon enough, you're living the life you wanted. And I can attest to that because once I switched my mindset, everything changed. Then I had the courage to go out there and be bad. Like I mentioned, I started posting these videos with my face not in it. And I was getting really positive feedback. People saying, Frank, you got to rap. You got to rap. You should really do this. So growth mindset. Tattoo it on your forehead.
Yeah.
You're going to get a face tattoo. Yeah.
Growth mindset.
Yeah, right?
Oh, man. Yeah. That's great, man. No, well, awesome, amazing advice from Frankie Always, y'all. Very happy to have you on today's episode, man. Where can the people reach you? What would you like to plug before we wrap this up?
Yo, it's your boy Frankie Always. Make sure you find me on Instagram, Frankie Always _ at the end. I don't got the Frankie Always handle yet. That guy, I'm gonna have to pay him out. We talking deals, we talking big money. Yeah,
drop that shit.
Trying to shake me by my ankle, bro.
He ain't posting all the time like you. Come on.
You ain't been posting since 2005.
Oh yeah.
No, but no, really, you never post. But Frankie Always _ you can find me on there. Same handle for TikTok. And then in my link to my Instagram is my YouTube. Subscribe. I got dope YouTube videos. Very dope YouTube videos.
Yep.
And
absolutely.
Watch them, kill them. Listen, you can put it on with your boys, but I suggest you listen to it when you're alone and you're in that space because I'm saying some words that can truly transform your life. And I've been transforming lives and I'll continue to do it. And that's my highest passion for my life. So yeah, man, check me out any of those places.
Yes, sir.
Or just go to the Grand Canyon, stand on the cliff and scream, "Who's the next great rapper?" And then listen closely because you're gonna hear Frankie Always.
It's gonna come back. I love it.
It's gonna come back, baby. It's like
that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, no, that's what I'm talking about. I love it, man. Well, thank you for being on today's episode, man. I really appreciate your time, man. It's been a dope one, man, for real.
Yeah, thanks, Amir. You're the man. This podcast is great. You were a great host. Everyone watching, dude, Amir's the man. Like, met him in person, love his energy, and I'm supporting you, whatever you do, man. So this
Much
was great. Thank
appreciated,
you.
man. Likewise, man. Likewise. Alrighty, y'all. That's episode 123. Make sure you tune in the next week for the next episode. Alrighty, y'all. Peace out.